Hey, Pastor Steve Waldron, I hope you're having an incredible day or night in Jesus. Thank you so much for being with us. We're going to try to look a little bit at scriptural hints and just plain statements of Scripture. What was the world like before the flood? Because we know, first of all, that people were living a lot longer. Second of all, it really indicates that we were vegetarians before the flood. Thirdly, I'm definitely not a vegetarian. I've done fast where I was vegetarian, but, Daniel fast, these things. Thirdly, it seems like it didn't rain before the flood, but a mist came up and watered the earth. We know from ice core samples, a lot of neat stuff from that. But let's get started. We're using as our textbook the Creation versus Evolution book by the great scientist Arlo Molenpaugh. Used to be head of Gateway College of Evangelism. He told me one time, he said, Scott Graham, who's our assistant, he's our general secretary, was the smartest guy ever came through Gateway. He used to give a test. Said Scott scored I won't tell you because it's probably confidential, but it's an amazing score on the test. Okay, so the world before the flood. So he's got some great little information in here. Let's take a look at it. What three states of the earth are described in 2 Peter 3? So in 3:6, you wouldn't think to find what was a world before the flood like in 2 Peter. So the world that then was being overflowed with water perished. This is referring to the world before the flood. So the world we now live in is not the same as it was before the flood. That's the same core, obviously, but like new heavens, new earth, the earth's going to change like garments, it says in Hebrews 1. There is no telling what happened when all the fountains of the great deep were broken up and the windows of heaven were opened in Genesis 7:11. The great damage done by geysers, volcanoes, earthquakes, resulting tsunamis must have been immense. Now, Walt Brown, in the beginning, he's got a PhD at MIT, just great. He actually says this is where meteors and comets came from. Possibly even some of the lunar orbiters, and some of the planets, maybe some of the asteroids. And this is the reason there's ice in interstellar space. And it's really a much better explanation, let's say, for comets than the Oort cloud out there that is kind of just all supposition. Meteor showers and these kind of things. And so, because he says when it bursts through our atmosphere. So in some cases, some of the rocks and all this. We know that there's 3 times the amount of water under the earth than there is on top of the earth. And on top, it's like 2/3, 70%, somewhere in that neighborhood. So great numbers of plants and animals were buried, as evidenced by huge fossil graveyards, coal seams, and oil fields, which that's all debatable, the oil fields especially. Also immense lava beds, such as the Columbia Plateau, and huge thrust faults such as the Matterhorn and the Alps give evidence of great catastrophe. And you even have like the La Brea tar pits and sharp teeth on top of Everest. I've been to Mount Everest. It's pretty fascinating. In verse 7, he states, this is 2 Peter 3, but the heavens and the earth, which now are reserved unto fire and against the day of judgment. So this refers to the earth we're now living on. And so verse 13 says, we look for new heavens and new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. So this is the earth that will be formed after the present earth is destroyed by fire. But again, same core, and it seems like hell is in the center of the earth. We're going to explore this subject a little more next time about what additional things were different about the earth before the flood. So just doing the series on creation in the mornings. We do some other videos sometimes at night. So just love God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. He loves you. He's your creator. If he created us, he kind of gives us commandments and direction. He loves us. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.